y'all, it's Kara. Welcome to another speed build. So, if you're not aware from being on my Twitch channel, I stream every Friday over at twitch.tv/aromanticace. I have been playing a lot of Stardew Valley lately. I got into it kind of at the end of last year and absolutely adore it. It is kind of a mashup of two of my favorite things, which is The Sims and what I used to originally stream on Twitch, what you'll still find here on this YouTube channel if you go combing through my VODs, which is kind of visual novels and like romance kind of dating sims. So the thing that I kind of built my channel on at the beginning was those mobile games called Choices, that particular app actually. And so I did a lot of the Royal Romance storyline. I did the entire Endless Summer storyline, where you will know I have a lot of opinions if you watch those VODs. I have so many opinions about everyone in that game. But Stardew is very similar in that, you know, you have characters that you can start romantic relationships with. You have relationship levels. You'll get certain cutscenes and stuff based on who you're better friends with. So it's very much right up my alley. And then you pair it up with the farming simulator part, so having that kind of Sims-like aspect to it. Because honestly, most of the time in The Sims, especially if I'm starting a household and I need money, I just have my Sims garden. It's such a low effort way to make quite a lot of money if you can get the right plants crops planted. So it's just like, this is what I like. But the 1.5 update for Stardew came out on PC and Mac this year, right at the start of January, and with that came this beach farm, which I'm of a mixed opinion about. The beach farm is an interesting idea, I think, but if you're the type of player who likes to plant a lot of crops, it's a very frustrating place because there's only really one patch of land down towards the southwest corner of the map that you can use sprinklers on. You can plant wherever you want, you just can't use sprinklers everywhere. So there are ways around this. You can plant a bunch of fruit trees, for instance, because fruit trees don't need to be actively watered. And then, of course, once you get the greenhouse, you can do whatever you want in there. You can use sprinklers inside the greenhouse. But it does seem to be set up a little bit more for a rancher, and the fishing on the lot, by the way, is not good. You still fish a lot of trash, which is very frustrating. I figured you would at least get some decent fishing in the ocean, because we all know that if you play Stardew, you'll know that the fishing in the like pond is not good on your property. You're gonna fish up nothing but trash unless you use a crab pot to just like passively catch fish instead of actively trying to reel stuff in. But yeah, you don't get the beach farm if you're expecting good fishing. Get the beach farm if you want a ranch and if you want treasure to wash up on shore every now and then. You get stuff in crates, you get supplies in crates, which is kind of cool. I got a bunch of like seafoam pudding, which is a new food also that came with 1.5. So that was kind of fun. But back to the build, it was important for me to have this be a micro home because of the boost to the gardening. This is actually a farm. There are crops planted on it. I made sure to grab a room off the gallery where they were all normal plants instead of perfect, so that if you do want to play in this, you are kind of starting from a lower spot. You have some room to grow, although, like I said, I gave you a bunch of crops, and they're all crops that are actually in the Stardew Valley game. So I had fun with that. But I also leaned very heavily on the new Snowy Escape items. As much as I dislike the fact that we didn't get upper cabinets, you see me using these open shelves that we got instead. And I was surprised the number of things that I could actually fit on that, because we have a problem in The Sims where most of the items that you kind of want to put on a shelf don't actually slot to a shelf. So of course you can do the tricks to raise and lower objects, or you can use the OMSP shelf to put them there, but when you take the walls away in cutaway mode or in complete walls down mode, you'll just see these things floating in midair and they get in your way, and I don't like it. But I was able to slot quite a number of things to that, so I was very pleased. The dishes slot there, and the tea canister slot there. Then, of course, I had to clutter up the top of the fridge because you just don't have storage space. I also do like the fact that there's the open shelving underneath the cabinet. So I put a hot pot down there. I put a little bit of clutter down there that you can grab if you want. I love the idea of the hot pot. I'm so glad that we have hot pot in the game now. Oh, kava bowl. That was the other thing I put in, because this is of course in Sulani. It's on the Key Point lot. It's that private island up toward the top of the map, because it had the right shape for what the beach farm is in Stardew, which is mostly sand and then a little bit of water that you can build into if you want, or, you know, could theoretically if that was a thing you could do. But most of the beachfront lots in Sulani are mostly water, so you would not actually be able to have the farm on the lot and the buildings on the lot like I wanted to. But I thought this suited it great. I really enjoy this build. I enjoy the base shack that you get when you first start is about this size. It, of course, doesn't have a bathroom or a kitchen, because in Stardew Valley, the kitchen is an upgrade, and no one in Stardew Valley needs bathrooms. It's very funny, but it's true. There are no bathrooms anywhere in Stardew Valley. So trying to keep all of that in a micro home space was fun. But the walls are bright blue, and so I was kind of trying to echo that color scheme. And here I'm starting to put in the actual farm part, so I kind of tried to make it blend into the landscape a little bit, so you'll see me kind of pulling the same colors that are around that lot in the island and just trying to make it look like they kind of bled in a little bit. And then I had to play a couple different tricks to get these on the lot. You can't just build a room and knock out the floor anymore. It will read that as being the same number of tiles. So you have to draw the walls individually and then just place them together so that they don't end up with a floor or a ceiling, which of course makes it hard to place the roofs on. You'll see the trick that I played was just to draw a small room, put a roof on that, and then just stretch it over, move it over the top of what I wanted it to be on. So this is the chicken coop. Of course, we don't have farm animals in The Sims 4, but this is the rough size and layout of the chicken coop. I used the little doggy door to look like the chicken door, and then I thought that door is also from Snowy Escape. So I thought that went really, really well with the appearance of this build. And I was very pleasantly surprised. It was a little bit frustrating because since this is sand, you can't do the usual trick of just placing floor tile down. Because on a micro home or tiny home or any lot, if you place just the floor tiles, don't actually like make a room, don't lay anything, but just place the floor tiles down, color the ground with it. Those don't count as like active tiles toward your tiny home requirements. So you could make a back patio. You probably saw me do it if you watched my speed build of the little random house, the little random cottage. I played that same trick where I made back patios with the floor tile. But on a beach lot, you can't do that because the ground on the beach lots is not flat, and there is nothing you can do to make it flat, which I kind of understand because you can see on the right where it goes down into the water, that kind of has to be slanted in order to go into the water. But at the same time, it's really frustrating that honestly no place is flat and you can't do anything with it. So you can see I'm laying down just terrain paint to make a gravel space. But I was pleasantly surprised that even though this is daytime, they now have it where these outdoor lights will light up on the inside, and you can see inside. Because normally the game would count this as outdoor space, and even though it's got a roof on it. So it looks like they've changed something to make that a little bit more playable, which is very nice to me. But what I did was I put in the chicken coop, I put a little crafting area, so the handiness table and the candle making station You do have crafting in Stardew, and you can get workbenches if you get one of your skills high enough. I forget which one it is. You can get an actual workbench that you can work at, and it gives you some benefit. Like, you don't have to have everything just in your inventory if you have that. And then in the barn, where you would normally have cows and pigs and sheep and stuff, you know, more things that we don't have in The Sims 4. I put these juice fizzing machines because one of the things you can do with your crops in Stardew is actually make juice. You can make wine, you can, and you can now age it in a cellar. They also added a cellar that you can build on, which is fun because otherwise the wine doesn't, like, it doesn't matter what quality crops you put in, you just get the same quality back out. You just, like, get regular quality out. So it's nice to be able to age that. It's kind of fun. But here I am just laying in all of these crops, which means I placed this room over and over and over and over again to place all the crops that I wanted. I placed some forageables around too, because that's a thing in Stardew Valley as well. But here I have all the crops laid in. So I used grapes, I used green beans, garlic, strawberries, a couple other things. I forget what the other two plants are that aren't up right now. That aren't blooming right now. But I also gave you the scarecrow, which you need in Stardew because you know, crows will come and eat your crops. And then I just wanted to lay in some paths, because that's another thing you can do to kind of beautify your island. My new save where I'm playing on the beach farm, I laid down so many paths just so that, basically so that I could find my way through the massive grass field that I had, because I hadn't built any ranching buildings yet. I hadn't built a coop, I hadn't built a barn, and so I didn't want to just cut down all my grass, because it's more to your benefit to leave that and let your animals eat it. But I needed to be able to get down to the south exit of my lot, and so what I did was I laid a bunch of paths that basically told me where to go, because I was getting so lost on the lot because I don't know it yet. And I ended up getting a little message in the mail that said, hey, your farm is being featured in a magazine because it's so pretty. And I was like, wow, really? Because all I did was just lay down a bunch of boardwalk. Okay. So that was kind of fun. That was a thing I learned. I assume that existed before the update, but it was kind of a fun thing to learn. I haven't been playing Stardew for very long, and for those of you who are inevitably going to ask me who I, you know, have married or intend on marrying, so far I've married Elliot, who is a fun romance. I don't know who I'm going to marry in this save. It might be Leah. This is the save where it would make sense to marry Elliot, because if you know the Stardew characters, Elliot is the one who lives on the beach. But, you know, when have I ever done something because it would make sense? So who knows who I'm going to romance this time. I'll decide when I get there. But here I am just putting the finishing touches on the terrain paint, which did not glitch when I moved a sim in to do the screenshot, so you'll actually see it look the same. So thank you so much for watching. If you do like this build and you want to see more like it, you can hit that bell button to get notified when I post new videos. You can also leave me a like and a comment. Tell me who you've been romancing in Stardew, who you like, who you don't like, who's your, you know, the love of your life, and who you absolutely cannot stand, because these opinions are so interesting to me. But yeah, or you can watch me stream it on Twitch sometime. I do intend to stream Stardew Valley more, so yeah, enjoy whatever it is you do between now and my next video. Catch you later.